I'm Pierre. This is a third installment of 4 videos I'm going to post on YouTube about Mangrove Jack's Liberty Gold Ale. I'm about to keg my first brew that I did 2 weeks ago. I have now just sanitised my keg. I placed a bit of gas on this side, filled it up with gas, have Star Sand solution in it. Also have a little gun just to clean all the system out, make sure all the pipes are clean and all the valves are clean and everything's been maintained and brought up to scratch. And I use my gas here, which is a little system here to pressurise the keg. And it comes up pretty good. Get a nice little pressure in there, and then I can just basically run the system. Run all the fluids through my keg out the tap, just like that. Make sure that everything running through all this system is clean. I clean everything off, everything's been done. I even changed a heap of rubber seals. Get all the gas out so I can open my Cornelius clip keg thing, bolt, whatever. Pop it out. Pop it out, rubber seal, make sure that's got all Star Sand all over it, make it clean. All my Star Sand foam. I've been listening to a lot of YouTube videos saying don't fear the foam. So don't fear the foam, there you go. Alright, just so you can see what I'm doing, I'm cleaning my bottles out with Star Sand, making sure they're sterilised and clean, ready for bottling use. My keg takes about 9.5 litres, but I've got 6 bottles to take up the rest of the 3 litres that I've got, just in case, you know. I'll put sugar in this to see how it goes. It will taste different because I put sugar in this and I won't in the keg. That's how it works. This is Star Sand solution. I've just basically poured it in clean bottles that I've already cleaned beforehand. And all I'm going to do is just shake them up. Make sure that they're coated fully all through the bottle. That's the Star Sand, nice and bubbly, coat in every area. And then what I do is I'll just pour it straight into the next bottle, just like this. Every bottle gets a coat of Star Sand internally before bottling it. Okay, here's my finished brew. It's been brewing for about 12 days now. Finally ready to siphon out into a keg. The thing is, I would like to do a pressure siphon, but I still don't have the pressure lid yet. Okay, gonna have a look inside under this lid, see what's going on. Take off the what do you call it? The water air trap. Undo the lid. This hasn't been open for 12 days. About to find out what it's all about. Let's have a look. Let's see. Nothing really bad in there, I can see. Smells great. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is shove my siphon into the fermentosaurus. I've sanitised the cabling, the piping, leave a little gap in my keg. I've got to be careful not to let oxygen permeate through the brew, so I've got to just be extra careful. Start my siphon. There it goes. Going to pick up a bit of trube at first, but as it goes, it'll slow down and get nice and clear as it's doing that at the moment. So we'll get there, have a look inside what we're doing here. It's a little bit splashy. I've got to, that's it, let's stop that splashing. Look at that, it's starting to go down now. Very nice, it's still nice and clear, so I'm trying to get the clearest I can into the keg. the only thing about kegging with Star Sand bubbles, you can't tell when it's full, so you have to muck around a little bit, get rid of the foam, have a look and see how far the brew's getting, because it's not a 23 litre keg, it's only a 19 litre keg, so it's probably going to overflow, so I'll stop now. Well geez, that was almost a disaster then. I just pulled the cable, pulled the pipe out, and it's just gone all over the place. You got to be careful sometimes, I can tell you. I'll clean this mess up. So, as you probably noticed, I still have some brew left, so I'm going to bottle this one. I'm going to grab a few bottles like this here, put some sugar in it, a couple of drops per bottle, fill her up to the top, about here, squeeze any bit of air out, cap the lid and leave it for a couple of weeks to see how it tastes. So now I'm filling up my bottle with the rest of the brew. I'm going to fill it up to the rim, make sure it's right up to the edge. Star Sand's coming out, but it doesn't matter. I can slow the brew down just by pulling it in and out until I get to the top. Once that's done, I'll pop the cap on. As you can see, these bottles are a little bit crushed. That's normal for me. What I do is take all the oxygen out of the bottles, and when they do their final age, they will ferment a little bit, create a bit of carbon dioxide and pop those little things out. Good thing about doing this sort of thing, you know you've got the caps on properly. So these guys will sit around for about a week or two. I'll try one in about 2 weeks time and see what it's like. Now that I've kegged Mangrove Jack's Liberty Golden Ale, I want to put a bit of gas in it and let a bit of oxygen out. It's not hard to do. I've got a bottle of CO2 sitting here. I'm just going to pop a bit of gas in it. We'll pop it on the input valve, which is just this one here. Crack it on. Open up the gas and let it rip. You'll probably hear it. Alright, and then I'll purge it to get rid of some oxygen. Just like that. I recommend 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. Fill her up with gas again. So what we're doing is just purging the oxygen and putting in CO2 so no air can be in there to taint our beer. The other good thing about it, you can check if you have leaks, which I did. I had a leak, just had to fiddle with it. There it is. Just have to tighten her up a little bit. All good. They were saying the best way to check for leaks in these is to have them upside down on the floor and see if anything drips on the ground. We'll try that. Alright, it's upside down. So far, can't see any leaks. It's still under pressure. Don't think it's leaking. I think it's looking pretty good. No worries there at all. No leaks at all. Liberty Gold Batch 1. Finishing report. Well, when I kegged this one, it was messy. Didn't like it. The smell was alright, but the taste wasn't good. The alcohol volume was, I don't know, it was the starting volume, starting ABV was 1030, and the finishing value was 1010. So, not going to be much alcohol. I think it's because the mash didn't go well. Didn't get much out of it. Compared to the second batch is doing great. The first batch was, we had temperatures of 35, 40 degrees all day, every day for about 5-6 days. I couldn't get the temperature down below, it was pretty much sitting on about 24, 25 degrees Celsius all the time. It fermented very quickly, but I left it in the fermentosaurus for about 5 more days after it finished fermenting, just to get that flavour through. I didn't see any mould on top of the brew, which came up pretty good. So I think we'll be right. We'll see how it goes. I didn't like the aftertaste. There was a bit of an aftertaste, but it could have been the yeast. It's still in there. We'll see how we go. Might be good, don't know. Hi, I'm Pierre. I'm about to bottle my second batch of Liberty Golden Ale. I'm going to talk you through it as best I can to tell you how I'm doing it, how I clean the bottles. I'm going to do it the unconventional way, which is no worse or better than anything else. Some people use a washer, which I don't have. I'll just use a scrubbing brush, some cleansing stuff, the old Mangrove Jacks, cold water cleaner. It'll do the job. Anyway, on we go. So, first things first, you fill your water jug. I'll just show you here. You fill the water jug with about 5 litres of water, as per instructions on the Mangrove Jacks cleaner detergent. Nice and full, 5 litres, that's all you need. You just measure out 2 tablespoons of their cleaning powder. I hope I've got enough. Roughly 1. Look at that, just enough. 2. Wonderful, all out now. Now what I'm going to do with next job, might be able to keep it at that. Just to get it through the water a bit, I'll just let it sit for about 10 minutes just to get it nicely dissolved. Then I'll start washing all my bottles out with a brush. While I'm waiting for this to dissolve, which is nearly done, it's got a little bit longer, I'll pour myself an ale that I did, the first batch of Liberty Gold Ale out of the bottle, just to try it out. I've kegged that one, and it's not quite ready, but this one seems to be carbonated a lot. Listen, it's got a bit in there. Watch it when I pour in my frozen glass. This is what happens when you bottle it a little bit too early. As you can see, it's got to pour it slow, very slow. Try and stop the hair. Way too much carbonation in this one. Pressure got pretty high, so I threw it in the fridge to stop it fermenting anymore. As you can see, I poured that pretty slow. But it's still got pretty high in the old head, so I'll give that a bit of a rest and I'll try it soon and see how we go with it. So it should settle down nicely now, looks a bit better. I'll just top it up before I have a taste. I just checked on the keg, I didn't realise that how much of the carbonated. The keg's fairly carbonated too from this. I bottled or kegged it too early. Thought it was ready, didn't know it wasn't. It's not clear, but this is in the bottles. In the kegs it will be much clearer, because this is all the bottom of the actual fermenter. But still, it's got bits in it. We'll taste it. Doesn't look bad, doesn't smell bad. Carbonated, but not bad at all. Got some hoppy taste. No bad flavours. Doesn't taste like the one I made the first time, but I know why, because the grains I did didn't have the flavour come out. But the last one, the second one I did, which is what I'm going to bottle today, the grains came out beautiful, and the flavour and smell different to this one. So it's not bad, but I reckon the bottled one I'm going to do in a minute is going to taste much better. Okay, I'm about to do the cleaning. All the bottles, I've got 30 bottles, I've got 21 litres of Mangrove Jacks Liberty Golden Ale to bottle. It won't take 30 bottles, but I'll just take 30 bottles and clean them anyway because I'm going to do it. I also have another brew I made. I had a heap of peaches on my peach tree, so I thought, bugger it, I'm going to make a peach cider, see how it tastes. I'm going to clean the bottles for those. They're going to have black lids. The other ones are going to have white lids for the beer, just to see how a peach cider would taste, homemade. I'll give you the recipe. If it tastes good, I'll let you know how I did it. Just to show you how it all works, I'll get a bottle of fluid like this, pop my brush in the end, give it a bit of brush up and down, get it, yeah. Scrub the edges, get it done. Comes out, give it a shake, just finish it off. Grab my lid to get it ready. Turn it upside down, turn it, so you get that swirl. And the water just pours out like a rocket. These will have to be rinsed in water first before I sanitize them to get the cleaning solution out of them, so we can actually use it for bottling. Now, all my bottles have been cleaned. Now it's time to rinse with just fresh water and then sanitize with a bit of Star San. Alright, now I have cleaned and sanitized. I've now got a little bit of Star San solution in there, just won't hurt your beer. I'll tip it a little bit out before I go for it. But I'm going to have to arm all these now with 2 drops of sugar drops to help it carbonate again. I've got 30 bottles. I won't use 30 bottles, but I'll have them there prepared just in case. I pre-tilted my fermenter just to try and get the, what do you call it, the tube and all that on the bottom to tilt backwards. It doesn't look like it actually really works, but it's been like that for about 5-6 hours anyway. It might help, don't know. We'll see how we go. The caps are now off. Now time to drop some drops in. I'll do 2 drops per bottle. Each bottle is about 740 ml. Everything's still clean. I've been working hard to keep everything clean. It took me over an hour and a half to clean all these bottles. So now all I just have to do is keep putting more and more in. Whoop. So I've now done 2 lots of 15. Like I said, I won't use all 30, but sometimes I'm keen. And I put all the lids back into Star San just to make sure that they're clean before I put them on. Alright. Time to mount my wand. First things first, give it a good old clean up the guts. Make sure it's spot on. I've got a towel on the floor to catch the water so it doesn't make such a mess. Just to try and keep it clean. The wife won't like it if I make a mess, so all good. Now, since that's been sanitized now, I throw my wand on, which you just go in, just slip straight inside that little nozzle there. Nicely done. Alright, it's time for bottling. I might just put a little bit into a jug first, just to make sure it's clean before it goes in my bottle. Okay, that looks pretty clear. So when I bottle, I fill my bottle right up as far as I can go. That's why I've got a towel here, because it will drip a little. And then I'll squeeze the air out as much as I can and pop my sanitised lid on. So here we go. Crack the valve. It's not going to go anywhere because there's a valve down the bottom. Just pressure on the bottom. Try and put least amount of air in the beer as you go. And off you go. Heard a bit of the splashing around there, which apparently is not good. I haven't had any real issues, but what do you do? Whoop. Because the bottle wand will allow you to have a little gap of air right underneath, if you can see that. Push the beer to the top, screw on the lid, tight as possible. Nozzle got blocked just at the end there, a little bit of hop still in there. Couldn't get it, flow stopped. It's only about a litre left. Doesn't matter, I've got 25 740ml bottles filled. So I'm pretty happy. I'll leave that for a couple of weeks now and we'll see how it tastes. Okay, that's my first batch done. I'll now move this box away, get the box that's underneath, start filling that one. You don't have to see all that, and I'll show you the end result. You know, while I remember, I think I better do a gravity test before I use all my beer up and put it in bottles. See what I've got. Here's my final gravity. I reckon you could see that. Very low, so it's around about 4. 104, maybe 102. 104, I reckon. The nozzle got blocked just at the end there. A little bit of hop still in there. Couldn't get it, flow stopped. It's only about a litre left. Doesn't matter, I've got 25 740ml bottles filled. So I'm pretty happy. I'll leave that for a couple of weeks now and we'll see how it tastes. Just another idea I had. For you guys, if you're wondering, these boxes aren't bad. You might get them wet at the bottom sometimes, but they dry all pretty solid anyway. They're great to keep the light out. They're good to keep your bottles in when they're filled with nice beer. Reuse them. You might as well, don't throw them away, because they're the best. They're great.